Hey guys, just a reminder, if you're using a company's Slack, those messages are not necessarily private. Just a reminder. So Live Nation's in trouble because some of their employees were bragging about price gouging customers on the company's Slack. It's coming up in court now because they're in the middle of an antitrust lawsuit. And I think people forget this. They think that these private messages are actually private, and something you say out of turn could be used against you or the company at a later date.
And that's what happened here.
Yeah, they called the customers stupid.
They should be up for they are kind of like what do you say? They're at because of monopoly type situation.
Yeah, antitrust.
Yeah, antitrust. I can see that because that's how they are. And are the fees ridiculous? Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's ridiculous how they keep driving up prices on tickets, and even the people that they're selling tickets for, like different musicians and stuff, have called them out and said no, we don't like this, and they still do it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So this comes from Variety. Live Nation employees brag about price gouging customers, calling them so stupid in new court documents. So they said after Live Nation reached a tentative settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice in their antitrust case earlier this week, newly released court documents show a series of messages between two Live Nation employees in which they bragged about price gouging customers, robbing them blind, and calling them so stupid for paying inflated costs.
Great.
I have to wonder what the Disney company Slack is like.
I'm sure it's pretty bad. Well, it's just interesting because about the inflated prices, because I don't remember which ticket service it was. But our son wanted to go see a concert that's this year, and his sister wanted to buy him tickets to go. And he and his friends and her were going to go. And when they dropped the tickets, they were $50. But within a few days, till she got paid or whatever, the tickets went up to $200 a ticket.
Yes.
And the tickets weren't, it wasn't like the venue upped the price. The ticket sale company, supply and demand.
Yeah.
And then they jacked the price up from the $50 initial to, and it wasn't like it was better seats no, it was just the standard price. They jacked it up to $200 within a few days because there was demand.
And it's so weird because, you hear these stories about people going to see legit legendary acts, right? Like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, we paid like $20 a ticket.
Yeah,
$20 a ticket.
And what gets me is they make it. It's such a racket, which is probably why they're in trouble. They make it you have to go through these places to get the tickets, and it's like you can't just people. For most cases, now some cases they'll sell it directly through the venue, but most places they require you to do this to go get the damn tickets.
So this is coming from 2022. Okay, so a 2022 conversation between Ben Baker and Jeff Weinhold, two regional directors of ticketing for Live Nation venues, focused on raising ancillary fees like parking and lawn chair rentals at the expense of the ticket buyer. Per Bloomberg and court records, Baker wrote that these people are so stupid for paying such high fees. Weinhold noted that he had VIP parking at a show priced up to $250. I almost feel bad for taking advantage of them. No, you don't, because it's all about maximum revenue, right? Can you imagine the Taylor Swift concerts? Weren't they like $1,300 a ticket?
I don't know. I think she's one of the ones that called these places out before.
Well, yeah, because I think the acts want I'm not 100% sure how it works, but they want a set rate or a certain amount of money or whatever. But then these ticket companies jack the rates up. So they basically become the scalpers.
That's what I was going to say. How is it any different than scalping tickets? In a lot of cases. Go ahead.
Another exchange, Baker bragged about charging $50 to park in the grass and $60 for closer grass. Robbing them blind, baby, he wrote. That's how we do it. This sounds so Disney. I could totally see Disney people being like this in the Slack too.
People think, oh, Disney's all about family. It's not when you talk to the executives.
No, because these people, look, their performance is gauged by how much they're bilking people, right? They're going to be like, oh, look at the revenue you brought in this quarter. And so they're going to look for ways to upcharge because they want to keep their jobs, right? And they might get a bonus too. I don't know. It might work like sales. They get a bonus. They get a 10% cut or 5% cut or whatever the hell they bilk people for. Live Nation previously sought to exclude the exchanges from the antitrust trial, while an attorney for the Justice Department argued it gave a candid, contemporaneous look into how they view prices. I think it's actually relevant because this is the company culture. This is how I mean, if they're
brag
talking,
about it.
they brag about it. They brag about gouging customers. And I guarantee you, they're not the only company out there that does it. I've worked with enough sales executives, sales reps in my life to know that they actually get off on gouging people. They get off on making the most money they can make.
No, because they probably get rewarded for it.
Yeah, they
said
do.
the representative said the statement to Variety, the messages shared between those two guys was there was a junior staffer and a friend. Absolutely doesn't reflect our values or how we operate. Okay, but was it provable that you guys were charging $50 or $60 up charges for the grass and huge up charges for chairs?
Yeah.
Because if it is provable that you did, then I would say that doesn't sound like it's just a one-off, does it?
No. It sounds like it's the culture. Because this was a private Slack message, leadership learned of this when the public did and will be looking into the matter promptly. Our business only works when fans have great experiences, which is why we've capped amphitheater venue fees at 15% and have invested $1 billion in the last 18 months into U.S. venues and fan amenities. So let me tell you about Slack, and it's the same with Discord. I think it was Ubisoft fired a bunch of people for trying to unionize on their Slack. The company owner has access to the whole Slack channel, right?
Even if you leave, they keep all those messages.
Even if you leave, they have an archive, right? So if you're talking shit or you're talking illegal shit or whatever in the private Slack, realize your boss at any point in time can go into that private communication and read it, download it, whatever. And in this case, they wound up having to admit all that stuff in court. They probably, hey, give us all the DMs because we want to know what your people are saying.
Just because they like shut down your thing doesn't mean there isn't an archive kept.
Right.
Know? And we always keep archives of things, just CYA kind of situation.
Cover our ass about things. Yes.
But yeah, and then this gouging thing. This reminds me of conventions too anymore because not for the attendees so much, even though they are kind of doing this. If you want VIP and VIP and all these different things that they're charging
VIP.
You know what I'm saying?
VIPP.
It's that they put extra price tags on, but like for the vendors, because we know we've been vendors at conventions.
Yes.
And I'm not going to name names, but I know of at least one or two that it started out like, you got your table, you got your 2 chairs, you got your 2 badges and all the other stuff that you could, have your people come in and help you. And there's a place for them to sit and there's a badge you can, rotate through your employees to help you. And then it got from that to you only get 1 chair. And if you want to pay for a chair, you have to pay for a chair. And you're not allowed to bring your own chair because that's bad. And then if you want your employees to have, it's no longer a badge, it's a bracelet you can't take off. And you have to pay for every person to have that bracelet. You can't just, have a badge to share among them. Even though you're working a booth, that's what they're doing. And anymore of these conventions are getting to be bigger celebrity petting zoos than they are, for the vendors. And the vendors are getting screwed already because they're charging ridiculous prices. They're all heading to the celebrities. They're paying ridiculous prices for celebrities. Vendors are already getting shafted, but vendors are the ones that are paying all this extra fees. You have to pay. You get a table and you have to pay for a chair.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like what you're supposed to do, just like stand there. It's like, no, they know they have you, right? They know, oh, you want to come to the convention, but you want to park your car? Okay, well, we got to charge you for that.
Yes, I can tell you from the vendor standpoint, we stopped doing it because then the prices kept going up. Well, it's a bigger venue because when people are coming, they're coming to see the celebrities. They're not coming to see the vendors, but you're charging the vendors to pay for the celebrities.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
I saw a video the other day. There's a guy talking about, he's like, why do we even call them comic conventions now? Because it's like, nobody's coming here to buy comic books.
They're pop culture, petting zoos.
Flea markets. They're basically like.
They're not even flea markets. They're celebrity petting zoos. So we have vendors there that are selling stuff, and vendors have good stuff, but no one looks at them because they're too busy going in with all their money and they're right in line. And then you're in line for like 5 hours to see one person. The vendors are paying the vendors are getting gouged to pay for the celebrities to be there. And then, they don't even go see them. And it's like you get to a point where it's like, it's not even worth it. And that's what this reminds me of. It's just that as long as they'll pay it, we can just keep pushing it. And it is like Disney. I mean, I know the Lightning Lane for spring break week, I think it's next week, the Lightning Lane passes are going up like $10, $15 per pass because they're like supply and demand.
Well, it's dynamic pricing, and that's the way that all these companies are working now. And
Not
eventually,
Walmart's going to do dynamic pricing.
Eventually, it's going to come to Walmart too. I mean, it's in their.
I told you those little plates, those little new price things are changeable.
Yes, so everything is going to be dynamic pricing. It's going to depend on, and they'll use AI to determine oh, hey, it's lunchtime, so all of our grab and go stuff is going to go up now between like 11 and 1:30. Or this person walked by and their phone, we've got some kind of tracker or something on our app. They walk by, we know this person makes more money than that person, so this sandwich is going to cost $2 more because it's lunchtime. They're hungry.
There's got to be a line drawn. This is getting ridiculous. But these companies, are getting, they need to be called out. They need to be stopped because they're saying, oh, we didn't raise it that much. You should be sad that we don't even need them. Like the fact that they put themselves as a middleman they get to pay is ridiculous anyway.
Yeah, because it used to be, back in the day, basically they'd have the venue or whatever, but you'd show up at the window, you buy your ticket, you pay the, whatever, like a movie theater. And now it's like you got to book through one of these.
Well,
these
I can see paying them a fee, like if they want to do this where you like to make it easier. They have some of the tickets, and if you want to go to one stop, it's like the Fandango, the movies, you can buy online and pay like a convenience fee. But it's beyond just a couple bucks convenience fee. It's like, the ridiculous price gouging is out of control. And they apparently reached a settlement, which meant if there's a settlement, then they must have found fault in some way, or there wouldn't be a settlement.
Yeah, so they were threatening to separate Ticketmaster from Live Nation. But there are 27 states are going to continue their individual legal actions against companies. So that's more than half the country suing Live Nation and Ticketmaster for price gouging, price fixing. And it's like,
and plus they're the same company or they're subsidiaries, so they're running everything. I don't think Fandango is part of that, but I'm just saying it's like they're going to argue that you're monopolizing. It's kind of like Google buying up all the different ad networks, the ad agencies, and then using a different name and saying they don't own them, but in fact they control a massive amount, and that's why I think they were being up for like lawsuits about that too.
Yeah, this is really interesting though. To see how these companies think, and like I said, this used to be kept on the down low. It was in meeting rooms or phone calls or whatever. And now that everybody's using Slack, there's a record of the bullshit. So like I said, if you work for a company and they have any kind of company communication tool, use it strictly for business and don't talk shit about your customers. Don't talk shit because it can and will be used against you.
Right. And they're going to keep records because if something like this happens, they need to have those records to submit. So if you're using Slack, just know that, whatever you're saying is probably kept and there's copies of it. Just keep that in mind.
Well, yeah, we've had companies Slack, and I've got access to everything that's ever been said on that Slack ever. So
I know.
Hopefully we don't have to. Hopefully we don't have to bust those out.
There's only one person that would ever be an issue. Everybody else.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
All right, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.